All right. Welcome to today's basics training, everybody. I'm going to let you guys hop on, make sure that you can utilize the chat. And as you guys are hopping on, just Jim's already, he's reading my mind. Go ahead and drop in the chat where you are watching from today. Maybe you're listening, maybe you're driving in the car. I'm not judging. But just drop in the chat where you are listening from, where you are watching from today. We love to see where you guys are tuning in from. So I see some Florida, we've got some Colorado, North Carolina, New York. Jim, yes, I am a Harry Potter fan, and you are like one of the first people to notice. That's hilarious. Yes, I do love Harry Potter. I am a Hufflepuff. You'll probably see as this call goes along. I'm a Hufflepuff, and I am in Alabama. That is where I'm hosting today. So you'll probably be able to tell that as the call goes on. I'm going to take a sip of water, and we are going to get started here. So again, welcome to today's session. My name is Hannah. I am the Chief Trainer here at Listing Leads. If you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the platform, you are not alone. And today is all about getting you confident, clear, and set up to actually execute. We have helped over 4,000 agents run consistent marketing campaigns to attract listings. And here's what we've learned. There are only 3 marketing channels that truly move the needle, and we call them the big 3. So what is the big 3? The big 3 is email, text, and direct mail. Email is going to provide that value-first communication. The texts are personal follow-ups with those engaged leads. And then the direct mail is just going to build authority and trust in your farm. Now, before we get into the meat of today's session, I do want to walk you through just a few things on the platform and how to get started. I'm going to work on sharing my screen, and I also want to let Lee introduce himself to you guys as well.
Hey, so just I'll say hello real quick. Love hosting these with Hannah. She's running the show, but I'm here to interject my color commentary and whatnot. I am based in Atlanta. I'm one of the newer Listing Leads team members. I've done all the things in real estate ever, from being a solo agent to running a team, being on a team, broker owner, all the things. And just love, we're here to help you guys execute this content. And you'll hear it over and over, but we're trying to make it easy for you to execute. The people that send out this content have success, period, end of story. We see it every day. We meet with people every day that do it, and we want you to be one of those people. So Hannah, why don't you take it away? And I can't help but hop in with comments, and I'll be dropping some links in the chats as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Lee. So hopefully everybody can see the Listing Leads platform that I have pulled up here. It took me a little second to get that pulled up today, but we are here. So the first thing that I wanted to go over with you guys on the platform is, well, number one, we have had a lot of questions when it comes to the integration of Follow Up Boss with your Listing Leads account and how to integrate those. And Lee actually has a really great video that he has made to kind of help you guys understand that process a little bit better. It seems really scary, but it's actually super simple. So I'm going to let him drop the link to that video. And all that video is doing is showing you how to get that API key in order to integrate your listing leads with your Follow Up Boss. So I think Lee's already dropped that in the chat for you guys, which is awesome. Now I want to talk about a few things that you may have seen on the platform, but maybe didn't try out yet. The first one being this little bubble here. If you click that United States, it says US for me, but for you, it may say Canada. This is going to allow you to select your market. So this is going to let you choose your target market to get that tailored marketing strategies and content. So you can choose between United States and Canada. And once you choose your area, you just select apply, and that is just going to, across the board, make sure your content is tailored to your market. So cool little feature there that you either knew about or now you you didn't know about, but now you do. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is this little circle in the top right hand corner with the question mark inside of it. And this is going to open up into our help center. There's tons of really, really good info in here for you guys. We've got obviously FAQs about account and billing, the Canada content, like I mentioned, creator plan, integrations. So lots of really good questions and answers for you guys inside of there. If you come over here to the left-hand side, underneath the Help Center, we have training videos for you guys, really good info in those. So if you do have some time, you watch those. Underneath that, we have the company updates tab. Definitely don't have to check this one often, but we'll just kind of drop little nuggets inside of this tab when we're launching really big things or just things we think you guys should know. And then underneath that, we have our support tab. And this has a walkthrough of the platform, similar to what we're doing with you guys today. We have some other helpful resources underneath that for you guys, some videos on how to edit some of the campaigns inside of Listing Leads. So really, really good info there. And then obviously, if you go through the help center and you still have questions, totally fine. Just reach out to our support team. You can email that email right there on the right-hand side, and they will be more than willing to help you. We have an awesome support team. So the last thing I wanted to touch on before we get into the big three, which is the main reason we are here today, is our blueprints tab. So this tab is not super new, but it's newer, and I think it's worth mentioning. This is where all of our blueprints can be found. And as we drop new ones, they will land here as well. So as you can see, we have the Summer Expired series, the Silver Tsunami, all of those blueprints we put in one place for you guys so you can just find them really quickly. Now, let's get into the big three. And actually, before we get into the big three, I do want to mention the listing attraction plan. So one thing that you can count on every single week is this listing attraction plan. This is Monday through Friday content laid out for you every single week. We are going to provide you with this listing attraction plan. So obviously today we're going to talk about the big three, which I'll get into in just a second, but you can always count on this listing attraction plan being here for you guys. So Monday through Friday, you're always going to have something that you can post. So just want to throw that out there. I do want to toss it over to Lee just for a second. When it comes to getting set up to have success with these campaigns, we have a few CRM and segmentation tips for you guys. And I'm going to let Lee tell you guys the tips that we have for you when it comes to setting yourself up for success using these campaigns.
Yeah, so we've tried to make this really simple, regardless of CRM, regardless of anything, but I think it bears explaining because the biggest barrier to doing this, besides cutting and pasting, is having the list. So whether you're using a CRM, a CSV, you can use Google Contacts to do this, whatever it is, but segmenting into really two audiences, and then the third is a combined audience. So the first one is prospects. The idea here is that these are people that you haven't really fully engaged with. It's up to you if they responded to one drip once or something to that effect. But these are not people that are expecting to hear from you necessarily. These are people that you're trying to engage. So a lot of the language we've created around that is trying to get them to engage. Another thing, and I'm going a little off topic here, but I want to hit this now. Another thing that I feel like we clarified recently better, and I'd like to keep the message going. A lot of this is like somebody mentioned on a session yesterday that there wasn't a call to action and everything. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we want the call to action to be the second thing, the follow-up thing. And so with prospects, our first goal is to just get any sort of engagement. Hey, who is this? Hey, is this a good email? Just any sort of like, this is a real person with real contact info, but we haven't really engaged with them yet. The second list is SOI, being sphere of influence or past clients. people that you do know, people that do trust you, people that are going to probably expect a different message from you than, you know, hey, are you a real person? Hey, are you doing this? And then the third bucket is everybody. Now, when we say everybody, it's typically those two lists. You don't want to be out of compliance and email people that shouldn't be emailed or texted. But you know, this idea that some of this content is designed for anybody and everybody, but really super important to hit those two, to have those two segments in your database, as well as the ability to, hey, to say send all. So again, there was a bit of a long-winded answer. I'm working on some better training around that. But just wanted to kind of tackle that. So each of these, Ken, if you don't mind clicking into, let's click into an email campaign just as an example, because it's going to have the examples. We're going to show you in every single piece of content who is the recommended audience. And it's always going to be prospects, SOI, or everybody. So this is why we want you to have this set up in advance, because it's an easy button to just ship this content.
Yep, exactly. So moving into the weekly plan, specifically organized by the big three. So like I said, we have the listing attraction plan, which is a Monday through Friday plan laid out for you every single week that you can use. You can use every single piece of content that we give you, or you can just pick and choose, or you could just do the big three that we're going to talk about today. But that is something that's always going to be there for you guys, that weekly listing attraction plan. So going back to the big three, the first one that we want to talk about is email. And we recommend you send 2 emails per week. One of those emails is the one that I actually clicked into, which is the deal of the week email. And this email is going to go to your whole list or prospects, as Lee mentioned before. And it's basically saying, here's a property I think is a great opportunity in today's market. There's no price, no address, no photo, just a hook. So I want to take you guys through that deal of the week email really quickly. And every Monday, pretty much you can expect there is going to be a deal of the week email for you guys to send. So on the listing attraction plan here, I'm going to click into the email, the deal of the week email for this week. And once you open up the campaign, you're always going to have an introduction section up here at the top. And there's just really, really good info in these introduction sections. I know it's easy to skip over the intro and just be like, okay, let me just get to the content, what I need to post. But don't skip over these because it's really, really good info for you guys. Underneath that, we have the before you get started section, and Lee touched on this. It's basically setting up your list, getting your email tool squared away. And one thing I do want to note is you don't have to have a CRM or an email tool to send out our emails. If you have a Gmail, you can send this email out. I think me and Lee joked that we should get a t-shirt made with that on there. If you have a Gmail, you can send an email, because you don't have to have any fancy tools. You just need a Gmail account, an email account that you can send an email from. That's all you need. Obviously, a CRM is great to have. We tell you to use what you have, whether that be Follow Up Boss, MailChimp, Constant Contact, whatever. But you can't hit send if you can't hit send. So bare minimum, you need an email, and I'm sure all of you guys have that. Underneath that, we have the 3 simple lists. Again, prospects, sphere of influence, past clients, and your entire database. This one, we're always going to give you the recommended audience, like Lee mentioned, for the campaign, and you're going to know which recommended audience it is by this yellow bubble. So if it's for prospects, it's going to be highlighted just like this one is. And again, these lists that we are telling you guys, these 3 simple lists, is just going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to help you not overthink when it comes to sending these emails out, which is always great. And then a plain text format. These emails are written to feel personal, not promotional. So keep them as clean and simple as you can. We recommend just paste them as is. Maybe add your short signature at the bottom, nothing wrong with that, but don't add any extra fluff to these emails. They are meant to be simple, and they are effective because they are simple.
And let
Now,
me add to that super quick because I don't feel like we can overemphasize this. The goal is truly for this to feel like you wrote it to them one-on-one. Also,
exactly.
things like including links and images get you more likely to end up in a promotions or spam type of filter. So really important. Again, I feel like I've said this 100 times in every session we've been on. In working with some power users, I was super blown away that all of them were like, we just copy it and send it. We don't touch it. We don't reread it. We don't put it in ChatGPT and rewrite it. We literally just send it out from this. And these are the people that we're seeing have overt, deep success with this. So it's supposed to feel personal. It's not supposed to feel like a newsletter. It should feel like you wrote it to them. If you have the ability, adding even just good morning, happy Monday,
Right.
thanks for, whatever. It just saw any sort of personalization. I personally think people feel a little more obligated to respond. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a mass blast. They feel like you wrote them an email and they're more likely to respond. The second piece of that, you have to remember the consistency of this is super important. They may not respond to the very first email that you send them. Sending a deal of the week every week is actually creating both expertise on your level, your expertise, as well as name recognition and branding so that they do respond, they feel comfortable responding when the time um, is right there.
Yep, for sure. So again, the how to execute section, this is where the magic happens. This is how you actually use the content and paste it into your email platform, your email blast app, whatever it is that you are using. And it's super easy to use, guys. For the subject line, all you do is hit this copy button. This is automatically going to copy that to your clipboard, and you can paste that into your email platform, CRM, whatever it is that you're using. And one thing that I want to mention about these email campaigns, when it comes to the portions that need some editing, anything that you see that is bracketed, anytime you're using our email campaigns, text campaigns as well, anything you see that is bracketed, like the area, we have the square footage down here, key features, that is going to be content that you want to add in, features about the property that you're talking about, the area that the property is in. You don't want to just send it out with the bracketed because, I mean, you may get responses from that actually, but I don't know
Find
if
out the
it's the
ones
kind
you
of
want.
responses you're looking for. Yeah. So please make sure if you do see the bracketed info that you're just filling that in with the necessary content. Same thing with the email content below. You're just going to hit copy. You'll paste that into the content block of your email platform. And again, go back in, make sure you are adding in that info that is bracketed. And then underneath that, we have the step 2 here, which is going to be transferring the email content to your email blast app. So we give you all of the steps on how to do that. And we are going to drill it into your heads who this target audience is for the campaign, and it is prospects again. So if you forget, we have it again to remind you down here underneath the how to execute section. And then there is the example below of how that will look. Now, let's go back and talk about the second email that we recommend you send each week, and that is a value-based email of the week. So these emails are going to be insightful. It has market-focused content that is designed to earn attention and not ask for it. And today's email is the perfect email to send out as your value-based email of the week. Go ahead and click into the email campaign for today, which is Tuesday. And this email is, will this impact your plans to sell? So as you can see in the introduction section here, last week rates dipped to their lowest level since October, and moments like this wake up on the fence sellers. So this is doing exactly what the value-based email is supposed to do. We are giving them that market-focused content, and this one is just a really easy one to use. Underneath the introduction, like always, we have the before you get started section. Same thing, email tool or just an email platform. That's all you need to send this email out. Your 3 simple lists that we mentioned before. Again, this is a plain text format. We're not sending out a newsletter. We're not adding 15 emojis. We are keeping this clean, simple, pasting it as is. And this one is one that you can literally copy, paste, send, because there is no editing that needs to be done. Underneath that, we have the how to execute. Same thing as the deal of the week email. You're just going to copy that subject line, paste it into the subject line of your email platform, and then copy this content and paste it into your email platform as well. Again, this is a great one to send out. There's really no editing to be made here. You're just copying, pasting, and sending this out. Underneath that, we also give you the instructions again on how to transfer this to your email blast app. And again, your target audience is going to be your entire database. And remember what Lee mentioned before, when we say all contacts, we don't necessarily mean every contact.
Everyone ever. People that have opted in or that you have permission to email.
Exactly.
We got to keep y'all compliant. We do our best to try to keep you compliant too.
Exactly. For sure. So, but again, that target audience is your entire database. And there's the example of how that email will look once you send it out. And again, these emails are written to feel personal and not promotional. So like we said, keep them clean, maybe add that little greeting in the beginning, add your short signature at the end, but for the most part, paste them as is and let them work their magic that they are designed to work. So let's go back now and talk about the number 2 in the big 3, which is texting. And this week's text is literally a follow-up from the email that we hope you will send out today after today's session. So when it comes to texting, we recommend you send 100 to 200 texts per week. Again, you're going to want to use the weekly script that we give you to follow up with the people who opened a recent email and haven't heard from you directly in the past 30 to 60 days. Again, with the text, just like with the emails, you're going to want to keep these short, personal, and relevant. I'm going to show you the text script that we have for you guys this week. It is literally follow-up magic. We mentioned it in the introduction here. Yesterday's, which is today's email, sets the stage for this text message. So you send the email out today. Tomorrow, here's the text that you can send out. Again, we have the before you get started section. Same thing here. You don't have to have a CRM that sends text. It's a great thing to have, but if you have a phone, you can send this text out. And then the 3 simple lists are the same pretty much when it comes to sending these out. Prospects, sphere of influence, past clients, an entire database. And again, this one is recommended for your prospects. And then we also give you 2 filters to apply when it comes to sending this text out. Engaged recently, which is opened an email or visited your site in the last 7 days, or not contacted recently. So there's been no outreach in 30 days for your prospects or 90 days for your clients. And this overlap, engaged but untouched, is your sweet spot. So this is going to be who you are going to send this text message out to. Again, plain text format. These are not spam blasts. They're timely, value-based follow-ups. So like Lee mentioned with the emails, maybe mention their first name. But for the text, skip the signatures. The only thing that I may say that you could add in to add a little bit of pizzazz, maybe you have an emoji that you're known for. Maybe throw that in there, make it feel a little bit more personal. But we're not wanting to spam them with our text. This is a text meant to follow up. So same thing with the email, same concept when it comes to using this copy. You'll copy clicking this button here. You'll paste that into your SMS or DM tool, or if you're just using your phone, you'll just copy and paste that into your message block there. The only thing you're going to want to change again, is this bracketed info, and you're just going to throw their name in there. Underneath that, we give you the steps on how to send this message via mass SMS or DM tool. So all the steps you need are there to do that. And then again, we're going to tell you that target audience one more time, and it is your prospects. And here is that text. Here's an example of the text right below. Now, moving on to number 3 of the big 3, and that is direct mail. And I'm going to let Lee talk a little bit about the database and audience when it comes to sending out these direct mail campaigns, because it's not necessarily the same exact audience that you're sending the text and you're sending the emails to. But we do recommend you send 1 to 2 campaigns a month, and those are farm letters and radius letters. The farm letters are going to just help you stay top of mind in your farm, and those radius letters are going to be around recent listings, open houses, or maybe equity reviews. And we'll give you guys an example of a few of those. I am going to click into one of these, and then I'll let Lee kind of run you guys through the database, the audience, and how all of that needs to be set up. So I'm going to do the farm letter here. Open that up really quick. And this is reasons why people are selling. So same thing with the other campaigns. We always give you the introduction section. Don't skip over these. I know I've said it before, but there's just really, really good stuff in here. A lot of times we have success stories from people that have used these campaigns and the success that they've gotten from them. So just really, really good nuggets of info in the introduction sections. Now, moving on to the before you get started section, this is where I want Lee to kind of take you guys through these lists, because these are the core lists that we recommend you have ready when it comes to sending these out.
Yeah, so obviously the audience is a bit different, and we had a few questions earlier, and I just realized I want to make some content around this. Somebody asked something about, kind of lead generation versus just pushing out to people in your database. This is definitely a little more along those lines. The short answer is I'd say our social stuff and the longer form videos are also lead gen. But things like this are potentially reaching out to people who you don't have any. This is why this is direct mail. You don't have an email or a text or anything for them. So a farm list, obviously, sometimes I feel silly explaining this to people in real estate, but I think it helps to be clear. A farm list is obviously typically a specific neighborhood or geographic area, something that links people to a common thing. And something we get asked all the time is like, how do I get this? And I want to mention a few ways to do that. Obviously, you can buy these lists, but a lot of you have a product called Remine as part of your MLS benefit. Remine can help you pull information like this, as well as some contact information if that's available in your market. You can also work with a title company or an attorney or somebody like that to potentially find. Yeah, Jim just added a note that sometimes the MLS can give addresses to mail to. So just finding this core farm list. But again, it's important to remember you're not going to send one postcard and get a bunch of phone calls. That's why we recommend this as like once or twice a month to consistently go. But if you can, using a Remind or a title company or some other service, finding people with this specific criteria is going to be really powerful. They have a certain amount of equity. They've been there for a certain amount of time. They live there. It's not an investment property. So I think that's really important. A radius list, while it feels similar to a farm list, is actually something like that we could use for a just sold, something super relevant to like, I just sold this home near you. I'm going to send it to the 100 homes nearest that home. So it's not to be confused with a farm list. And then if and when there's a specialty list, we typically are defining that. We're saying, hey, it's a specialty list because it's not falling into one of those. but we would specify that if this list was recommended as a specialty list, we would specify what that is. So yeah, and Jim, great ad. So tax information, it's real list in my market and maybe something different in your market. There's a lot of ways to find this info, and it's highly recommended to, again, part of what we're showing you here is we want you to execute, but we want to help you be ready to more easily execute as well. So do a little prep work now, it'll pay dividends for you in the future.
Yep, exactly. So underneath, obviously this is going to be sending out, you're going to be sending this out to your farm list. Underneath that, we have the how to execute section. And this is actually a template that you are going to edit inside of Canva. So to do that, you'll just click Canva here. And this will automatically open you up inside of Canva. If you have Canva on your computer, on your phone, this will take you directly to that. So that is really easy to use. And we also have some videos for you guys. I know I showed you in the beginning on that resources page that kind of gives you an idea of how to edit these templates inside of Canva. So definitely check those videos out. And then underneath that, we have the steps to submit this to a print shop if that's something that you need. And then your target audience again for this one is your farm. So that is how that letter will look once you finish editing it. Again, those videos are super helpful. We have a few of them. I know we have one for direct mail. I believe we have one for a postcard as well. So definitely watch those. I'm going to show you guys another example of a farm letter, and then we'll move on to the radius letters. So here is another. This is the how to avoid losing $23,000 if you sell your home in 2025. So again, we have the introduction section. This one is recommended for your farm list again. And this is also a template that you will edit inside of Canva. So to access that, you'll just select Get Template. It'll open you up to a new page. Or if you are already logged into Canva on your computer, on your phone, that will open up inside of Canva for you to start editing that. Let's see. Let's go back here. Now let's move on to radius letters. And again, these are, let me see if I can get my listing lead screen back. These are going to be around recent listings, maybe open houses, or equity reviews. And I will pull this one up for you guys. This is actually a postcard. And same thing here. You'll always have this introduction section. This one is obviously going to be for the radius list. So these are used for campaigns like the just listed, just sold, magic buyer, pre-appointment letters. And again, you'll need the ability to quickly pull those 100 to 200 homes nearby or around a specific property. Again, this one is a Canva template as well. So you'll edit this inside of Canva. It's really, really easy to use, you guys. There's not a whole lot of editing inside of Canva. I know it sounds kind of overwhelming, but once you open it up and see the things that need edited, it's really, really simple. And like I said, we do have some videos regarding editing those Canva templates as well. So I think, Lee, do we have the links to any of those that we could drop for them? I know they did.
To which, I'm sorry, I'm answering a question. I was
No
like,
worries. For the postcard or the direct mail template, I think we have one for the
yeah, they're not differentiated. We have some in our agenda that I think were specific, but I don't think they're not specified yet in platform. That was
okay.
actually one of the notes we were working on, is to be able to easily find a postcard versus a letter, but it doesn't currently exist, but it's very much on our radar to make that happen.
Yes. But like I said, it sounds kind of overwhelming, but once you get in there, it's super easy to edit these templates. We've made them to be able to be edited with ease. So don't stress about that part. Obviously underneath this, we give you the steps again to submit this to a print shop. And there is the example of this postcard here. Let's go back. And I think we have one more that is a letter. show you guys that one really quick. So this is the just sold letter. And here's the intro for that one. Before you get started section, again, this is for a radius. You'll edit this one inside of Canva as well. And this is a video actually that we have for you guys, kind of walks you through the editing process. It'll kind of give you a little bit better idea of how that works. So definitely watch those videos. I always recommend, if you're doing the campaign for the first time, just kind of set up 2 tabs on your computer side by side and just follow the video and edit at the same time the video is editing. It'll just kind of help you when it comes to doing the campaign for the first time. And there's the example of how that letter will look once it is finished. I think I saw a comment. Somebody wanted to see the text again.
Oh yeah, I dropped a link to it, but we can hop back to it. Also, a quick question, which I sort of know the answer to, but Ken, I want to make sure if you do, I get it right. Somebody asked about if you need a paid Canva to use the templates.
Okay.
I'll let you tackle that.
I want to say you don't necessarily have to have a paid Canva. I know that there are some features that are a bit limited when it comes to using the free version of Canva, but I know you won't be able to, I don't think you'll be able to set up a brand kit inside of Canva with the free account. But if you have the hex codes for your brand, if you have, the logo, you can still upload that stuff. You'll just have to manually go in there and, add the hex code for the color that you need. But I definitely think you can still edit these campaigns with the free plan.
Yeah, and that was my understanding as well, is that you can definitely do it, but there's some high level Canva features that aren't available to help you just more easily do it.
Right.
But I think it's like all things, anybody that has that type of freemium type of model, use the free one.
Yeah.
When you see it work and when it does something for you, then it's probably worth the $12 a month or whatever it is now to have like a pro account where you can do more of the things. But we're always a big fan of just doing with the free version and upgrade once you make some money off it.
Yeah, don't think you have to buy all of these services. Like, don't think you have to buy the pro plan of Canva. You can still use these campaigns with the free plan. Is it going to take you a few extra minutes? Maybe, but you definitely don't have to pay for Canva. You can use the free version for sure. So just a few final action steps for you guys, and I'm going to take you guys back through. I'll show you the text script again, and really anything that you guys want me to maybe click through or go back over, totally can do that. But the final action steps that we want to leave you guys with today is to make the next 30 days all about mastering the big 3. So send those 2 emails a week, the value-based email, the deal of the week email. Send those 100+ texts a week, and then send 1 to 2 mailers per month. Execute those 3 things, and you will start to really see the success that you can get from Listing Leads and the platform and the campaigns that we give you guys. Again, we highly recommend you join the Facebook Mastermind group if you have not already. I'm sure that most of you in here are in the Mastermind group, but if you aren't, definitely join that. There's so much content in that group. I mean, there's constantly questions being asked. People are constantly dropping successes that they've had with campaigns, things that they maybe tweaked and they didn't have success with, but then they made one small change and it just completely blew up. And there's just really, really good stuff in that group. It's really motivating. So definitely join the Facebook Mastermind group. We'll drop the link for that in the chat. And then when you have some free time, just go through and explore the weekly plan, the listing attraction plan, explore all the templates that we have for you guys in your dashboard. And I would love to take you guys through any of those today. Drop in the chat if you have any that you'd like me to kind of click through and walk through. Would be more than happy to do that. We also have the campaign kickoff that we have now each Monday. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Lee's on that, Jimmy's on that. It's such a great call. I'll let Lee give you guys some more info on the campaign kickoff. I know we've had some really, really good results from that. And this past week was one of the first weeks that we've even done it. So
Yeah, and I'll drop a link to that. So basically, it's not dissimilar from this webinar, but this webinar is really a focus on the basics, which is why it's called the basics, just executing, shipping an email or two. The campaign kickoff, so every Monday at 2 o'clock Eastern, Jimmy and I run through that week's actual content. Like we kind of do it here at a high level to help you get you going, but we go through a little more of the strategy and some of the deeper things behind executing this content every week. And the goal is for people to actually execute it while they're on the session, ask us live questions about why did you pick this. In fact, that was what I was referencing earlier. People asked about why is there not a call to action? Why is this one different? So if you want to quiz Jimmy and I on the week's plan, I'll drop a link in the chat super quick to that as well. And those are every Monday, and you can sign up for any Monday or all Mondays through the link that I just dropped in the chat. And I think there's a really solid question here. I think we should just tackle live, Hannah. It says, would you start with the weekly plan as you have it set up? If you were to start it for the first day, or would you do other campaigns, other types of campaigns first? The weekly plan, Hannah, maybe we should both give an answer. We'll see if it's the same answer.
okay.
I feel like the weekly listing attraction plan is probably a little easier to execute and easier to execute consistently because number one, it gives you a day of the week. Number two, we're hyper aware that what's happening with rates. There's probably another announcement. There's probably an announcement coming this week, Wednesday, where it is. Some of these are more timely, whereas the blueprints and the other scripts and some of the other campaigns are things you may want to modify or just work in or help use for responses or inspire you to make a video. Whereas the goal of this is it should be so easy. It is Wednesday. I'm going to click on Wednesday and I'm going to send this thing. So the short answer is I would say the listing attraction plan, weekly plan is probably the easiest, but I'd really love your thoughts on that, Hannah.
I mean, I agree. I think it is nice to have pretty much the work in a sense done for you every week. We lay out content that you can use. We give you a Monday through Friday plan. So if you just didn't know where to start, I would say start with Monday, work your way through the week and use the content that we provide for you. But if you'll notice, the big three, which is the email, the text, and the direct mail, kind of go hand in hand with the weekly plan as well. I know we say to send out 2 emails a week and then the 100+ texts a week. We're more than likely always going to give you the deal of the week email that you can send out on Monday. And then on Tuesday, pretty much always going to give you that that email that's market focused. So here's the email for today. Homework for today. After this call, send this email out. It's literally so easy. It's one that takes very minimal editing. You copy, paste it, send it out. And then we give you the text or the phone script to follow up with that email. So I would say follow the weekly plan, follow the listing attraction plan. If you were kind of unsure of where to start or what would be the easiest thing to start, definitely do the listing attraction plan because it's here. It's laid out for you. There's virtually no really thinking. You just use what we give you, send it out.
Right.
I would say don't overthink it. I know we say a lot of times some people get stuck in like task paralysis or they just start like over analyzing everything that they send out. Or, just we're going to give you great content. There's going to be some things that you'll need to tweak for your area. Obviously, the deal of the week email, there's things that you need to add in there. You're going to want to update the features, the area, but for the most part, the content that we give you is really, really easy to use. So yeah, I would say don't overcomplicate it. Don't go browsing for campaigns to send out if you're just starting. Just start with a listing attraction plan and then try to focus on those big three that we went over today. And I really do think that you guys will see success. I know somebody asked about the text script, so I'm going to pull that up one more time.
Yeah, that'd be great. We do have a couple of great questions I want to answer. I'm trying to answer some of the chat, but some I want to definitely talk through super quick while we're on.
So here's that text again. Did they have anything specific about it, Lee, that you saw in the question?
No, I think the question was literally just seeing it again. And I did drop them a link to
Okay,
it.
perfect. Perfect.
So yeah, I wasn't sure, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And okay, so a couple other quick questions here. How often to send out direct mail? I think we have a high level recommendation of once or twice a month. But something I know Jimmy says a lot too is, there's a little more budget that goes into that, whether it's just the postage or the printing or buying of a list. So, we lean harder into these things. A direct mail piece does pop in once or twice a month to the weekly plan. But as Hannah just went to, there are also specific direct mail templates. And this is where somebody asked earlier about a postcard versus a letter. The postcards and letters are mixed in here. And I had mentioned we're working on separating those out a little bit, so it's a little easier to find if you really want a postcard versus a letter.
Yep.
But just wanted to tackle that. And by the way, that just sold by Scott Thedman is beautiful.
Great.
Highly recommended. It's very good.
Cool. And like, yeah, so we have the direct mail templates, but another thing that I did want to mention on today's call, we have all of our campaigns over here on the left-hand side. So maybe you're going through the listing attraction plan for the week. You loved the deal of the week email, you sent that out. But then maybe the email that we have for you that week doesn't necessarily pertain to your specific area. You could come over here to our email campaign app and find a better value-based email to send out for that week that maybe pertains more to your specific market. So here are all of our email campaigns. It literally sometimes feels like it's an endless scroll of content. There's tons of options for you guys to choose from in that. And then same thing with our direct mail templates, like I showed you, social shareables as well. There's tons of really good Instagram posts, carousels, polls that you can post on your Instagram story. Just so many. Here's a deal of the week social shareable that you can post. This one is a story with a poll that you put down at the bottom. So just really, really good content. If you have time, just kind of scroll through and just check out all of the campaigns. It's literally, it feels like it's endless to scroll through them. So I highly recommend you do that.
One more question I definitely want to tackle live because I love it. And I think I try my best to answer. I think I got everything. By the way, I dropped several links in the Facebook group. That's a great place to ask questions and get members who are doing things to answer. Jimmy and I are in there. Hannah's in there. We're all in there to help. And we love doing it that way because everybody can see the answer instead of just giving it on a webinar. But a really great question I want to tackle here. Somebody asked about using it in 2 different states. And not only 2 different states, but 2 fairly disparate states. This example was Hawaii and Texas.
Okay.
2 things I want to say about that. And one of them goes back to one of the recent questions I was answering in the chat. This content is, generally speaking, very much designed to be non-area specific. The main, just lost my words. The predominant distinction would just be US and Canada. Different laws, different, things like that. But essentially, it's not really state specific. The one thing I will say, obviously, if you're doing a deal of the week, that is generally going to be tied to something like that. That said, I would just send out 2 different versions of the deal of the week.
Right.
One being, and again, with Hawaii and Texas as the example, in Texas, I mean, there is beachfront property. I grew up there, but like, you're probably more likely to have a beautiful beachfront property in Hawaii and, maybe not so much in Texas. So I would say the content itself works for all states.
Yeah.
Just be careful within it. Like if you're picking a feature, like if it's a feature deal of the week, you're going to want to include features that are relevant to Hawaii, to your Hawaii database, and features that are relevant to Texas in your Texas database. But as far as the words go, they should be the same. And I just also saw that her comment said technically two different brokerages. So therefore, I think you would almost need to send with a different signature, or a different disclosure or disclaimer, I guess is the right word, and things like that.
And I just saw that someone asked about a mass texting tool. So we actually have one that we recommend for you guys. We have a few actually. And
I dropped the link earlier, but I'll drop it again. We've actually got a whole article type of thing on all of your options. Yeah,
yes.
Hannah's got it up right now, but I just dropped a link to it.
So that is one thing that I did want to mention. Obviously, we have tons of good information in the introduction section, but as you can see in this section, this is of the text script campaign here. We have in this step 1 before you get started. This right here is where you can find the link for that as well. So here's all the tools that we recommend for the mass texting. So don't, I know sometimes when you get like in the zone and in the heat of the moment trying to get these campaigns sent out, it's easy to skip over the introduction. You're like, okay, I've seen the before you get started section 15 times already, but there is really, really good stuff in there. So definitely don't just skip over it. I know that can be really easy to do.
One more great question I want to tackle. Really good, and appreciate you guys. Great questions. And I think I just spelled his name wrong in responding, and apologies for that. But somebody asked if they were newer about just sending this content out right off the rip versus like explaining that you're in the business now and all that. I want to get Jimmy's feedback on this, and I'll circle back on this as well. But I would say probably not great to start sending these super cold if people don't know you're in the business yet. So just some sort of announcement type of email first. Another great thing to do in that, and now I'm going way off script, potentially include, I've done this with a lot of people, potentially include something like, I can provide market updates. Would you be interested in that? Would you be interested in receiving properties? Hey, I have this is how I would do it. And I just thought of this on the spot, but I would probably ask some people, hey, would you, in that announcement, hey, would it be okay if I send you a deal of the week every week to help you identify, properties that may be, of interest to you? Getting people to opt in like that is super powerful. And maybe I'd A/B test that a little bit, maybe send out some announcements with that and see what kind of response rate you get. But yes, I would not just start sending these totally cold if you're newer to the business. I think sending some sort of, especially if it's a new email address, if it's like a new company or a new email brokerage type address, I would definitely send an announcement before I do it. But I love the idea of teeing up like, hey, I'm going to send you some valuable information that you can't get anywhere else. I think that would be really powerful to get people to pay attention.
Yep, I agree. Cool. Well,
Awesome. Thanks for the great questions.
Yeah, these have been awesome questions, and I love when you guys ask questions. It really makes it fun for us. So, I'm gonna give you guys a few more minutes if y'all have any other questions, anything else you'd like us to kind of click through on the platform or explain a little bit better. So we'll give you guys a few minutes to drop those in the chat if you have any. But if not, we've had a blast with you guys today, and please join the Facebook Mastermind group. I know we've said that like 20 times on this call, but it's just a really great place to be and see these campaigns in action. And just it's like a little community. It really is. People cheer each other on in there, and we cheer you on in there too. So definitely join that. But if nobody else has any more questions, we are going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Send out the Tuesday email. That's your homework.
It's Tuesday. Do it.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Allison. We had so much fun with y'all today. Send out the Tuesday email tomorrow, follow up with that text. And we really can't wait to see how much success you guys have with the platform. Um, make sure we don't miss any questions.
Yeah, there was one last one. Actually, this is a good one to answer live too. And Jimmy and I answered this yesterday as well. I'll drop a link to that session about doing if you have a page versus a profile on Facebook. A general recommendation was to do both because your profile is going to hit a different set of people, whereas your page is obviously acting a bit more as a brand. But so both, I think a pro tip might be to do it on your page and then share that on your profile. So you're doing some extra branding there too. But I would say both is the short answer. Like there's no harm, no foul in getting it out more.
Nope.
Oh, and shoot, let me grab that before we wrap. Sorry, I got a lot of things happening and cutting and pasted and all that stuff. Let me
It's
drop a
okay.
link.
My screen's pretty crazy over here too.
Yeah, let me drop a link to the session from yesterday because multiple people asked questions that I said like, "Hey, we answered that yesterday on the session." So I'm dropping this in real quick, but we did talk a little bit about profile versus page, executing some more of this content, and because it was yesterday, it's the same content. So if you really want to be a power user, you watch today and yesterday,
Yep.
and you'll be good to go.
For sure. Yeah, so definitely click that link that Lee just dropped in there. Um, oh, it's saying what?
Oh, Pamela, it will. It just requires approval. So if you join as a page, it takes us a minute to get people approved. So yeah, as far she was asking as far as joining the Facebook group. Uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, we'll approve you as a page. We just we especially on these sessions, we get a lot of requests, so we can't always approve them like straight away. But we'll get you in there.
Cool.
Awesome. Great job, Hannah. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you guys. And we'll talk to you soon. We can't wait to see you guys dropping your success in the mastermind group. Let me see. I saw another question get dropped in. I don't want to
It
miss
was
anything.
similar, and I misspelled his name again, responding because apparently the N on my keyboard doesn't want to work today. So
That's all
apologies.
right.
I've just spelled your name twice.
Well, thank y'all so much. We hope you have a great rest of your week and we will talk to you guys soon.